To Mike, one life, one knife, and a million memories.
Hey all, this is Joshua. I've known Mike for a long time, so his short video is hardly adequate to truly express what he's meant to me over the years. But suffice it to say, my career wouldn't be where it is today without Mike. And if it hadn't been for his encouragement and his guidance, I may have never even started Knife and Gear Society, and it might not be where it is today. But most of all, I'm going to miss our personal phone calls, our frequent conversations and discussions. I'm going to miss you, Mike. You were a good friend. You were the best of us. I love you, brother. Godspeed until we meet again.
I started at FMG Publications in 2005, and that's actually when I met Mike. I took over the Tops Knives account, and I started working with Mike. And the first time that I met him was at SHOT Show. And I walked up to him, said hi, and he said, you know what, I had my doubts about you, but you're doing a good job, so we'll keep advertising. And that's how Mike was. He's a street shooter, straight to the point, and generous, loyal, one of the nicest guys that you'll ever meet. The following show, I met him at Blade, and he came up to me and he said, "You're Filipino, right?" I said, "Yeah." Do you know where I can get a barong? So I went home, went to a Filipino shop, got a XXL barong because they're made for little guys, and I gave it to him at the following SHOT Show. And he was so surprised and so happy. After that, every time he'd call and we would talk, I would pick up the phone and he would say, "So, how's my favorite Filipino?" And that's how Mike was, warm, generous, and always accommodating and just the nicest guy you would ever meet. So I'm gonna miss him, and the times we got to talk and all the dinners and shows that we went to and hung out. It'll be really missed. So I'm thinking about all you guys, Tops, the big Tops family, and sending thoughts and prayers.
I just want to say, Mike, it was an honor, privilege to work for you for a couple of years. They told me something I remember you by every time that I used to go to the shows with Leo and them guys. You were worried if we would get enough to eat, but we always did, and thank you for that. And then you always asked me how training was. It was great. You always worried about me taking my vitamins, not working too hard. The older you get, the harder it is. You will be missed, Mike Fuller. Thank you.
Hey guys, it's me, Wace, and Johnny Ty here in Chicago. Hope everything is well for you. I just wanted to take this quick minute just to tell you all what Mike Fuller of Tops Knives meant to me. Mike was a mentor, a big brother, an idol, a hero, everything wrapped up in one to me. Mike and Leo are the guys that pulled me into the knife game. 10, 12 years ago, I was walking around SHOT Show just meeting people, and Mike, wrapped his big arms around me and said, "Johnny, I want to make a knife for you." And that was the Kuma Evolution. And before then, I never thought about, entering the knife game. And since then, over the past decade or so, I've made several knives, dozen different designs, and now I write for magazines, and I'm involved, knee deep in the knife industry, and I owe all that to Mike. And Mike is more than just a knife mentor to me. We would talk all the time about my kids, my son, my wife, my daughters, family, his wife, what was important in life, and he would talk to me about things that I should be doing to get to the next level, just advising me all the way around. And again, not just in the knife world, but in my entire life. And Mike Fuller has done things for me that I can never repay. You know, Tops Knives is my knife family. They always will be. You know, it's been my home for a long time. Leo and Craig are, going to be running it, and Mike and Helen will be smiling down on them. And that's pretty much it, man. You know, he meant a lot to me, and I will miss him. His emails, his smile, his laughs, his jokes, his conversation, his advice, and I miss giving him a big hug at Blade Show every year. So again, this is Waste and Johnny Ty from Chicago. Hope all is good. Everyone, stay strong.
Mike would always lend a hand to Ron and I if we ever needed it. And if he saw some opportunity for us that he didn't necessarily want to take or that we could share in on, he would always think of us first. He was the person who introduced us to Buck Knives and Chuck Buck and the Buck family. And he is, the way he did it was so classy. I wish I had got it on film. I couldn't believe what he said about Ron and I. And it was incredible. I couldn't thank him enough. And eventually he was the one who helped me be able to, on my own, get my knife made in the USA for CRKT. And I'm forever thankful for that. That was a wonderful experience.
I just want to say how much I admire Mike. I first met him at my first SHOT Show. I knew he was kind of a big deal, so I was kind of nervous, but from the moment I shook his hand, I felt comfortable. He made me feel welcome and valued to be working with the Tops team. My condolences to the Tops family and to Mike's family. I'm so sorry for your loss.
So one of the things I appreciated a great deal about Mike is very early on in our relationship, I guess he's seen things in me and what I could do that I didn't see, and he encouraged me and gave me the self-confidence to grow our business, even start a business and grow it. And I probably wouldn't have gone where I went without his encouragement, and he was always offering to help with finances and whatever, but my wife and I says, no, we want to do this without that kind of a thing. And I think that was important to our friendship, that I never was in a position to owe him or him owe me. And so that kept us on the right relationship. And that's why it was so good all these years. I was in Vietnam, or I was in the Navy, so I wasn't inland like he was. But we could share some things that I don't know how much he shared with other people. But he shared some hard things with me that I think I like to think it helped him to get over a few things that was painful for him. And that's probably the one that reaches into my heart the deepest.
Pues él siempre bien amable, siempre con su sonrisa, presentándose como si te conociera de muchísimo tiempo. Y primero como escuchó mi sonrisa y es como que, ¿qué pasa? ¿Por qué te ríes así? Como de estar en lo tranquilo, que escuchó pues ya saben cómo soy de escandalosa, que escuchó mi risa, es como primero como que bájale poquito a tu risa, pero ya después cada que miraba era como que, Raquel, ¿qué pasa con tu sonrisa? La extraño. Oh my God. Como una persona bien buena, presentándose como si te conociera de muchísimo tiempo.
estábamos trabajando en el Storage allá por la Woodruff, y me dijo Polo, dice, Mike lo quiere conocer. Yo había empezado un día antes a trabajar, o sea, en la mañana, no recuerdo. Y llegó Mike como eso a las 6 de la tarde. Y ya, pues ya tocaron, ya abrí, y ya me saludó y pensé que hablaba español, me habló en español. Y ya, vi cómo estaba y bien, y ya yo le seguí hablando español, pero ya vi su reacción de no habla español. Y ya, ya comprendo. Así me dijo y se me quedó viendo. Al siguiente día, en la mañana, llega Polo y me dijo Mike que se quedó con ganas de darle un abrazo. Y pues, me ha dado, dice, sí, dice. Llegó ese día en la tarde, otra vez como de 5:30, 6, llegó con Helen. Y ya me estuve ahí platicando, estuve enseñando mi cuchillo o algo así, y me dice, tenga, para que vaya a cenar. Y me empuñó su mano, y yo le dije, no, dice, tenga, lleve a su esposa a cenar. Y ya, pues yo estiré la mano y ya me dio dinero, $60. Y dice, tenga, porque yo me quedé así como sacado de onda, me acaba de conocer, es un americano, yo no voy a tratar con americanos.
I didn't know it was him. I was talking with Luis in the back. He was showing me the whole heat treating process, and he just walked in, and well, I knew right then after, because Luis told me, but he was like, hey, like, I just heard you got hired on, like, I look forward to seeing your work, like, you know, I heard great things about you. And right then and there, I'm like, oh shit, like, yeah, like, if I do anything less than badass, I felt like he's not gonna. So right then I was like, I gotta do. Yeah, so that's why, like, anytime you would like tell me something like, hey, like, try to do it like this, I would try to do it like that, because obviously Mike liked that. So that was pretty much the first time I felt like, just the way he hyped me up, it was like I have to reach that hype.
Pues yo cuando recién entré a trabajar, el primer día de trabajar, él se acercó a mi mesa y me dijo que cómo me llamaba y que se presentó él, bien amable, siempre dando una palmita en el hombro de uno, siempre si la miraba uno cansado, la miraba, bueno, lo personal a mí, si me miraba cansado, ¿quieres café? Me traía café, me traía una dona, me traía un dulce para despertar, o sea, es algo, no puedo ni hablar porque me acuerdo de él y sus detalles, pues siempre nos miraba cansados, y iba con el café, iba con un dulcecito, iba con la dona, iba con, ay no sé, yo todavía ni lo creo, para mí es algo bien incrédulo, no lo puedo creer, ¿sí me entiendes? Porque fue muy de repente.
So when I first interviewed here, I was gonna get laid off from my other job. I was trying to figure out, what I was gonna do next. I was basically given an offer to move to California. Didn't want to do that. So Jesus talked to Leo and Mike and said, hey, talk to this guy, see if there's something for him, I guess. So they weren't even really necessarily looking for somebody. They weren't looking for a position to fill or anything. And when I got to the interview, it was the classic. Mike's the good cop, Leo's the bad cop. Leo sat in his chair the whole way through the interview, just mean mugging me, like. And I mean, he wasn't doing that, but that's what I was. I'm like, dang, dude's intimidating. And but anyways, Mike asked all the questions. He had me do a couple of things that were very odd for like a normal interview. The one thing was he had me stand up, turn in a circle. Didn't tell me why. Just said, turn around in a circle. So I turned around and I'm like, why in the world is he doing this? And he's like, all right, sit back down, close your eyes. And then he's like, okay, what's on the wall behind you to your left? What's on the wall behind you to your right? What was under this table? What was over here? And just asked me a bunch of questions about what was in the room. And that was odd. But I guess I actually recalled quite a bit of stuff. There was a couple things that didn't, but I guess he was impressed with that. And then the other thing he did that really, that to this day messes with my head, is he had me write on just a blank sheet of computer paper, no lines, nothing. Write a paragraph about why they should hire me. He had me do that with, like, there was no reason for me to do that other than he was going to analyze my handwriting. So he analyzed my handwriting, and like I said, one thing that still sticks with me every time I sign my name, from 6.5+ years ago till today, is he said the way I sign my name, the way I write my G, I just give it a little tail at the bottom and I don't bring it back up to the, where the line would be on a sheet of paper. And he said that could mean that I may have a propensity to procrastinate or not finish things that I start. To this day, that bugs me. Like, it messes with my head. And so I try to sign my name differently. I always try to do that, and it just doesn't work. I just can't do it. And so, but that was that's what I remember the most from the first time I met Mike was that. Every time I signed my name.
At the office over there by Fred Meyer's, that was the first time I ever met him, and he came up to me like he was my grandpa or something. Like, he already knew me. And then after that, I just got closer with him and all that.
It's been a while. I've known Mike for about 16, 17 years.
We're just trying to bring you up to date on where we are with Tops today and yesterday. Some 21 years ago, several of us who were Vietnam veterans from the Special Operations community got together and tried to determine what we could do to help improve some of the tools that the people had in the field to work with. That was the onset of TOPS Knives. TOPS is an acronym for Tactical Operational Products. Over the past 21 years, we have worked hard to over-engineer and overbuild each and every knife that leaves our place. We have the input of numerous people around the globe with new and upcoming designs that are proven in the field to show how worthwhile they are.
Man, I don't know. There's most of my memories of Mike are happy. Like, it's all positive. He was always he was always thoughtful. Like every time he would leave for the day, he would say hi to your family for me. He would always check in on how they were doing, how I was doing, and I know he does that with almost everybody. So it's just, I don't know. There's a lot of good memories. Whenever he would sit down and talk to me about stuff he used to do, or places that he's been or lived, and just hearing these stories that are so wild. That's probably some of my favorite memories is the story. Like, he had a million stories. Every time I talked to him, he had a new one. A lot of people will end up repeating the same stuff over and over again. He lived enough life that he didn't repeat a lot of stories.
It was probably, I went across the street to get lunch, and he was sitting there like I didn't know he was going to be there. And he invited me to eat with him. We just got to sit down and talk, and told me about his late wife, and we just talked about where we had come from, and it was such a deep conversation for people who didn't know each other that well. and it was so easy to talk to him. It was really nice.
He was always there. Like he'd always help you with anything you needed help with. Like he'd always come up to me and ask me like how I was doing, how my family was, if I needed to talk to him about anything, and he was just always there for me and always like wanting me to talk to him about it and about everything going on and all that.
Pues tengo muchas de él, muchas de él, porque siempre estaba ahí, siempre con nosotros, siempre si nos miraba la cara media mal, o estamos, ¿estás enferma? ¿Qué tienes? O me traía un café, me traía cualquier cosa, él quería que nos miráramos bien todo el tiempo como empleados. No sé, es una persona muy linda, muy detallista. No puedo, yo todavía estoy en shock, no lo creo, todavía estoy como asimilándolo, apenas no puedo entender.
All the stories, you know what I mean? Like it was always something different. It was always not just the stories, but him going into our office, and him just every time we did something, like he was really appreciative. Like he's like, hey, I saw that post that you did, I love it. You know, like good job, you guys. Like every time, even when it wasn't our post, he would just go in there, and then also like when he made like every day in the morning, you knew Mike was gonna come and say hi. And then if I was out or doing something and I didn't see him, the next day he'd say, hey, I missed you yesterday. Like I stopped by to say hi. And so just like things like that, like it made you feel like you were part of Tops.
Siempre llegaba y yo pienso como acá con eso. Llegaba, me saludaba, un abrazo y la primera pregunta por mis niños. O sea, cómo está América, cómo está acá. Pienso que va a ser mi recuerdo favorito, como va a quedar siempre. Siempre va a estar con eso. Y una anécdota que una vez se me cayó una caja llena de cuchillos a sus pies. Es fantástico.
A couple years ago, well, probably last year, I ran around with him for about a full week, helping him with errands, you know, outside of the shop, you know, taking him here, taking him there, and just the time we spent together, you know, we got to talk about a lot more than just knives or Tops, or, you know, we shared stories on our military experiences, and, you know, I felt like I really got to know him more as a person opposed to a boss type figure. So
sitting down with him in his office and talking with him at length about everything, anything from life, his past experiences, my experiences, ups and downs in life and dealing with it. And he told me some of the stories about when he was in Vietnam, what he did afterward. We have kind of a shared experience because he was a gym owner at one time in Phoenix, and I owned a gym, so talking about that, just anything. He always asked how my day was going, and legitimately wanted to know.
Yeah. When you hit him in the face with the door. Yeah, he told me. I remember he told me, he's like, so you wanted Jesus to record that, huh? I think he was too happy that I was laughing, but I'm like, Mike, I wasn't laughing because he hurt you. I was just because I wanted, the situation, and I wanted to like to remind you and make you feel like, you know, but.
So many that I can think of. I mean, 20 years of everything, and just one of the things is he actually gave me a nickname, and he used to call me El Chingon, and he actually found this hat with that on it. It says 100% Chingon, and that's what he used to call me all the time. And you know, and I've had this hat for almost close to 18 years probably. And that's what he always used to call me. He never called me Benny or anything. He just, every time he saw me, he called me El Chingon and El Chingon. So, you know, that's something that I always remember. And like I said, there's so many, but that's one that really sticks out.
Luis,
Hey, Mike. How are you, sir?
How are you doing?
I'm well, thank you. Good to see you again.
I saw your bike sitting out there and I thought, doggone.
You guys can't get rid of me. I have to come every year almost, it seems like.
Well, you know, every time I see another piece of your work, I'm just overly impressed.
Oh, I'm right here working on making Leo some dual holsters.
Well, that's good.
Do you mind if I take a picture with you? You don't mind? I'm honored. I'll take this. I'll put it in. Yeah.
Are you going to smile in the picture or look bad?
I always smile, man. Life's too short not to.
Okay.
Thank you so much. So good to see you, sir.
Same.
So, you know, those little things were just happy moments for us. We had, certainly like anybody else, our ups and downs and left and rights. But, you know, the momentum and the enthusiasm, the synergy from the staff, the people who were with us just prompted us to go on and do better things all the way and every day. There isn't a person on this staff that's been here probably at least 6 months or a year that doesn't think about anything but knives. As a matter of fact, I was rather surprised one day when I saw Leo, who wears shorts in the winter time, particularly below freezing.
Yeah.
There's more stories, I guess, on that, but he I don't know whether it keeps his nuts on the rise or what it is, but it does something. So there he is coming in one day, proud as hell. He's got a tattoo on his left leg on the calf of a Steel Eagle 107. And he said, see, this is me and knives. And even his wife liked it. I thought she would probably throw him out of the house, but it was certainly an indelible mark for me to see the enthusiasm and the loyalty for the company and for each one of us. This is not a company of people. This is a family that grows and grows, and we're just proud of every single person that comes into the fold and does something new and wonderful that we can appreciate. We've got a great graphics department that just is out of sight, and every time I see something that comes out of there, I just think, wow, it's just unbelievable, the photographic and graphic work that comes out of there. And we've got such a wonderful fellow who runs the marketing and kicks ass and takes names. And young Craig, he does a good job. By the way, the head of the graphics department, Jesus, what a nice fellow. Big, tall, hard-ass looking guy who's
completely the
soft,
opposite, huh?
Real soft. Just loves holding his baby.
Oh, yeah.
That's the kind of guys we have here.
I think what I already miss, and I will always, is just how much he genuinely cared about people. You know, he made it a point to come in every morning, shake your hand. You know, guy would give me a hug every morning when he got here and every afternoon when he left. And one question he would always ask me is, how's your wife doing? In the mornings. And then when he would leave, make sure you tell your wife I said hello. You know, he cared more about people than most employers ever would. You know, my wife has a voicemail on her phone from her birthday. Mike called her and sang her happy birthday on her voicemail. You know, I don't know too many guys that would do that in this type of setting. The guy was genuine, and he meant a lot to me. He's gonna be missed.
I don't know. You know, like I say, the same. It's really the same thing. Just the depth of experiences he had. You know, he brought so much to. It just brought so much to whatever he did. You know, whenever we would have a meeting at a show, and he was trying to close a deal, or he was trying to work something out with somebody, he had a way of talking to people that they just wanted to work with him. I mean, like, I can't tell you in the last week and a half or so how many people have given me that same kind of story. You know, I never even thought I would do this, and then Mike told me I could do it, and here I am years later doing it. Like, man, I don't know. Like I say, there's probably 15, 20 people that I talked to that said something very similar, and it's the same with me. You know, like I never did marketing before I came and worked here. I did sales. I was like a manager or a supervisor. I never did any kind of marketing, and he was just like, well, you can do it. It's the same thing. You just do this differently. And he always had a way of making you feel like you could do whatever it was that you were struggling with. And so, I don't know, probably that.
Waiting for him to come in every day. Like, I'll be waiting for him to come in and he won't be coming in every day. Like, me or Hallie used to make the coffee just so he'd have some coffee. I know I'll still be thinking about him. When is he gonna get in here? It sucks. But I hope he's happy now. I know he missed his wife and stuff.
I'm gonna miss everything. I mean, I already miss taking him a cup of coffee or, you know, going and having him sign checks. The thing I'm gonna miss the most is just his advice and his good-heartedness. Like, he always can make me feel better, no matter how bad things were. And he was that person for me. And I don't really talk to my own dad like Mike was. The last 10 years, Mike was my dad. So I'm gonna miss him every day.
I don't know, that was hard. Just his presence, I guess. Just having him around, just him always making jokes with me and just messing around and all that. Yeah, it was about what I was gonna go to college for, and he asked me as soon as I knew to come talk to him about it, to just let him know that he wants to know everything and he wants to help me out with it. And I never got the chance to tell him.
I miss that I didn't get to know him better. You know, I've only been here a few months, and you know, every day it's hard because we didn't have coffee together every morning because it's usually just me and him. And it's just like, it feels like I don't get to have coffee because it was our thing. It's just gonna be so empty without him.
Pues su presencia todos los días saludándonos y dándonos la palmadita, hablándonos, diciendo buenos días, cómo está tu familia, cómo está tu esposo, cómo están tus hijos, cómo no lo vamos a extrañar si él todos los días me llegaba a saludar.
What am I gonna miss about Mike, man? That's I don't know, man. These are like, you just gonna throw me in here like that. I don't know, man. Just seeing him every day, coming to work. He would say hi to everybody, just go talk to everybody. Yeah, no, I don't know. It doesn't feel real.
I mean, what can you say? You know, he's always caring. He wondered about my family, my kids, my wife, my mom. When my dad was alive, he's always asking about him as well. But mostly it's just that he cared about everybody and not just himself. He's always caring about other people, not just him. That's I mean, I don't know. It's just after 20 years, it's just so much to remember, and I'll always keep that memory of him and him giving me the opportunity. even after 20 years, I'm still here. So we'll just keep this going for him, and I'll always remember and love him. You know, just so many things that he did for everybody, and especially me and Leo. You know, we're here, and you know, it's just so many things. I don't know what else. You know, there's just so many things I can say, but you know, he's a caring person, and he gave me a shot, and you know, I'll try not to let him down.
Just, yeah, it's everything, you know what I mean? Like he was, you know, like I didn't know him for that long, but that short time, it was like he made a huge impact, and it's kind of hard to do, you know what I mean? Like when you know someone for that short of a time. So I'm gonna miss his presence. Every weekend, Monday morning. Did you get laid? Yeah, Mike. Alright, I'm just making sure that you're still. But yeah, I'm gonna miss Mike.
Pues muchas cosas. Muchas cosas. El buenos días siempre pasaba y me decía como una baby girl. Eso, el que te palmea, cuando uno tenía problemas es como que luego se daba cuenta que con mi cara y luego con mi risa escandalosa y que de repente no me reía un día, es como que Raquel, ¿qué tienes? Y siempre me decía cuando me miraba triste, ponte a rezar. Siempre. Hay muchas cosas. El que llegue en las mañanas, el Raquel. Sí, ese Raquel. Era el único que me lo decía así. Siempre. Desde que me miraba. Muchas cosas.
Probably that.
Get here.
Probably that. Just how he made us laugh every day. Every single day.
Seeing him around here, he would just walk around the shop every day. Just miss him every time I come in here. My office is right next to his, and it's just hard to walk by there. I'll go in my office and just remember every time he was here with us. It's hard. I miss him. I don't know. I just feel sometimes that we could have done something. And he just left. He just left so fast. I still can't believe he went like that. He was 80 years old and he looked strong, super strong. And it's just hard to believe that he's gone.
Voy a extrañar el verlo, el preguntarme por mis niños, o sea, la sonrisa, el que todo va a estar bien, o sea, por situaciones, por lo que sea, lo que está pasando en el país, por lo que sea, pero siempre todo va a estar bien, no pasa nada, o sea, la sonrisa de que siempre te trataba de alentar, o sea, se preocupaba por ti, se preocupaba por conocerte, se preocupaba por saber que estabas bien, y si te podía ayudar en algo, no lo dudaba. Es eso, es más que nada, es como el padre que quisimos tener, como mentor, la persona que siempre va a estar ahí, o sea, que tú sabes que si anda algo mal y lo ves, al simplemente con verlo te va a levantar el ánimo, vas a ver que te va a dar una palabra de aliento, te va a dar así,
So you used to play games with him?
Yeah.
What kind of games did you used to play?
And the catch ball, the one you have to hit, the one, so like the ball, you have to hit the quarter, and if you hit the quarter, you have it.
Who was better, you or Mike? Who won more?
Mike.
Did he? If there's something you could tell Mike right now, what would it be?
That I like him.
Do you remember the first time you met Mike?
I do. Actually, my brother Javi was working for him at that time, and again, you know, people had heard my story, but they needed somebody to clean the bathroom, and so my brother told me, after you get off school, I was going to Bonneville, come over to the shop. You know, it's like a block away, and then I'll introduce you to Mike, and you can talk to him and see if he can help you, see if you can help us clean the shop. And so that was in 98, late 98, that was early 99. It was early 99 because October 15 or something is when Top started, so early 99. So.
What is your favorite memory of Mike?
I have so many. I drove around with him. I drove around with him 7 years, Monday through Friday. You know, his old war stories. I got a lot of them. You know, I came upstairs thinking I was badass and I was ready for this, but it's a tough one. Yeah, so many stories that I have with Mike that we went through. You know, I started doing shows with him 15, 16 years ago. You know, until Helen passed away. A little before that, I started doing them, you know, with me and the guys. Yeah, I can't say this is my favorite because, you know, Mike and I, we had ups and downs. But at the end of the day, you know, we knew where we stood, you know, and so whatever Mike needed, I had his back, 100%, you know. Like, he had mine. He was probably, my things that I did, my dad didn't even know, you know. He went and he seen me behind the glass, you know, when my dad didn't even know I was in jail. Yeah, there's quite a few of them. Everything. Everything. You know, not only we had a friendship, but we had a business together. You know, I'm not saying I'm not ready to run a business. I've been running it for the last 7 years, but I always knew there was a backup. Everything.
And from my side, thank you all for being my family.